sir.
All right. All right. Welcome to the Credit Union Finals preview show for the girls basketball. I'm your host, Jeff Morrone, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jhamal Diggs. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. Before we get into the playoffs and before we even start this, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been listening. I did said it on last night's show, but I want to say it again on today's show. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supportive of the podcast and the show as well. And thank you to Coach for everything you have done, being a part of the show and, having your players on. And I really appreciate you and your support and everything. And I also want to say congratulations to your team. I know you guys didn't have the playoffs results that you wanted, but you guys battled two very good teams. You guys did very well in the playoffs, and you're changing the program over to Cranston East. So you definitely should be a coach of the year candidate for sure, because you're doing great things over at Cranston East.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you for having me on for the third time. I know when I came on the first time, I said, I would love to come on. It's fun. You do a great job, and I think this is awesome. The future is bright for you, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that as well too. Hopefully we can keep doing stuff like this, and maybe I'll get some ESPN graphics down the line eventually. But our playoffs are set, Coach. I mean, what are your thoughts on? Our finals are set, but before we get into the finals, what are your thoughts on the playoffs and what was going on throughout the whole the past couple of weeks?
Man, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster, and you don't know who's gonna play or who's gonna end up playing at the end of the week because of the COVID situations. Cranston West ended up playing SK's JV team. SK's defending state champions, and ends up playing their JV team. Cranston West ends up advancing to the semifinals. Classical also had a COVID scare, had to play Rogers, play some of their JV players. So you don't know what's gonna happen. It's been a roller coaster, but it's fun to see these kids actually push through and still get out there and play. That's awesome. But it's been fun. It's been fun watching the playoffs.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that we were able to make it this far, and like you said, it's been great for these kids to kind of push through and show a lot of adversity through these trying times of everything that they're going through, and just says a lot about them and how much maturity they have and being smart, wearing masks, and being safe as much as possible. So it's good. Yep. I'm glad that we made it this far and we got to the finals. But let's get into it. Let's get into the Credit Union Championships preview by starting with D3. Our finals are set for D3. It's a matchup from February 18th. It's a rematch from February 18th for Mount Hope High got the best of Mount Pleasant, and we will see these two go back at each other. But the tail of the tape is, Mount Pleasant's final journey. They started with Mount St. Charles, then facing good North Smithfield team. They're able to win that game by 5 points, and now they're trying to get revenge on their matchup from February. What are your thoughts on Mount Pleasant?
Oh, I like Mount Pleasant a lot. When I coached in D3 my first year, when I was at Times 2, we went up against Mount Pleasant. Hardworking team. They're gritty. I'm gonna say that. Their girls, they're gritty. Loose balls, they're on the floor. Rebounds, they're to it. And I think that playing in the championship for the second year in a row, last year they made it to the championship and won, and didn't get into the state tournament, which they should have. But I think coming back, making the championship second year in a row, those girls are going to go out there and play. Mount Hope, they're going to go out there and they're going to play too. They're, they execute well, but I'm going to have to go with Mount Pleasant in the championship.
Try not to make too many predictions. We don't want everyone to, hit you up on Instagram and stuff like that.
So I said that to myself. I said, okay, before I came on, I said, what am I going to do? Am I going to make predictions or am I going to play the political card? Listen, my season's over, the basketball season. I'm going to make predictions.
All right. I like it. Hey, that's all you.
Hey, guys were making predictions when it was the preliminary rounds. They counted us out, right? So
yeah,
it's the championship, right? I'm going to make predictions.
I like it. Well, both of these teams are led by very good players, Francesca Cortez Contreras. She's been averaging 18 points in this playoff run. And then, then Mount Hope on the other side, they have Abigail Rizzioni, who's been averaging 16, and Elise White, who's been averaging 8 points per game. What are your thoughts of also these two, these players going at as well?
It's going to be a dogfight. I do think that this game is going to be a close game, and I do think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. And that's why I went with Mount Pleasant, because I think Mount Pleasant will play really good defense and defense transition into offense, and defense win championships. That's how I see it. Francesca, pretty good ball player, does whatever it takes for her team to win. I go with Mount Pleasant.
All right. It's going to be a good matchup, and these two teams also finished 1-2 in their division. So it's going to be very interesting to see them go meet up again and play against each other. We are going to hop to Division 2 finals, which is another 1-2 battle from the seeding within the same league matchup too. This is another rematch game as well. Coach, you coach against both of these teams. I mean, let's just get into Classical's journey to the playoffs here. They Classical beats Smithfield in the first round. Then Classical has a tough matchup with Rogers, and they win that game by 5 points. And Classical has a team that they're led by Elaine Jimenez, who's been outstanding for them, but they've also had some other players step up: Stephanie Walker, Janae Price, Jasmine DePina. What are your thoughts on Classical?
I mean, like you said, I've coached against both of these teams. Both teams in the championship from our side of the bracket for this year of in the division shows how strong our division is. D2, I think, in my opinion, can also argue to be the strongest girls division in the state. Classical, man, they're huge. I'll tell you, they're huge. They got some athletic girls. Jasmine DePina, really good point guard. Can slow the pace down if she wants. Makes good passes, good decisions. And like I said, they're a tough team to beat. They're a tough team to beat. I like Ponagansett. I like Ponagansett. Coach Gary does a great job. That's my guy over there. And I love their style of play. They can shoot the ball. They can put the ball on the floor and pull up. They shoot lights out. And if they come in hot tonight and start knocking down some shots early, they could give Classical a run for their money. But I think that Classical's size, is probably going to be a little bit too much for them. And I'm going to go with Classical for the D2 championship.
That's good. I mean, it's a great prediction. I mean, Ponagansett also, but I think in the playoffs they beat both all their opponents by 16 points per game. I mean, they have 3 other scorers too that have been playing well. Ashley Stewart with 8 points per game, Campbell Boyden with 12 points per game, and Julia Costelli with 11 points per game. What do you think? What's the matchup with players? Is there a matchup that you're looking for, for 2 players to go against each other in this one as well too? I'm
going to be looking for Jasmine DePina to really as the point guard, senior point guard all her years at Classical, she's been really, really good. She's been one of the top players that's talked about in the state. I really want to see her take over this game, and win the championship. This would be what they went to the championship last year against Situate. They went the year before. So, I mean, hey, this would be her fourth championship in 4 years, 3 championships in 4 years. I'm looking forward to seeing her go out there and win it. Janae Price, another athletic, gritty player, gonna be on the boards. Stephanie, that her defense, long wingspan. Like I said, their size is just it's different, for this division. But I'm also looking at, I want to see Ponagansett. I want to see them knock down their shots, and also play their style of game. I don't want them, I want to see them stick to their style and not get taken away from that with Classical running their tempo style. So I want to see Ponagansett get out early, get on the board early, and hey, put up a dogfight against Classical. But I go with Classical for the D2 champions this year.
Oh, it's gonna be a very interesting matchup. Very looking forward to that one. And remember, that game is tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Rhode Island College, so you can catch that game as well as NHA Fest Network, I'm assuming. And the same thing with the D3s at noon tomorrow as well too. So just want to remind everyone to remind them about the times. now let's go to the Division I finals. And here we are where we have two undefeated teams, and Barrington's 11-0. St. Ray's is 10-0 on the season. Yeah, this is the 1-2 seed matchup in the division. Again, both teams stay undefeated. St. Ray's has rolled through the playoffs, beating opponents on an average of 20 points per game. They beat North Kingston by 20 points and Wheeler by 20 points. Amia Dowdy has been playing great ball for them. And then Barrington is also undefeated on the season, going 13-0, including in the playoffs. They have beat their opponents by 22 points per game as well. They beat LaSalle by 22 and Cranston West by 22. And Barrington has different leading scores in each game. They had Nina Gibbons had 15, the first game, and Danny Cressetti had 11. And then in the Cranston West game, Danny Cressetti had 17 points, and Lindsay Lemmy had 14 points, and Caroline McConaughey had 10 points. I mean, what are your thoughts on these two, the clash of the Titans pretty much in Division I going at it?
Yesterday, I was going over the game, just looking at the stats online and whatnot. And I'm like, this is going to be a good one. Barrington, they're young, but they got some good players, good point guard. St. Ray's, they just different team, and when I mean by different, I mean high level, Amaya Dowdy, D1 commit to UMass Lowell. Unbelievable player, and I think that St. Ray's, not that I think, my prediction for the D1 championship is St. Ray's. I think that they're going to go out there and their players are going to play at a high level championship, right? And I think that they're going to go out there and play at a high level and get the win against Barrington. Barrington's still a young team, still learning. So I go with St. Ray's for the D1 championship.
Nice. Yeah. And I think it's going to be another good matchup too, as well. I mean, like you said, Barrington's very young, but I've seen some of St. Ray's games. They look very dominant. I know a lot of the games that they play, is the best way to say it. I don't know how else to pronounce it, but they look great. I mean, both of these teams, I know Barrington's young. They're led by sophomore and freshman players. And they go against the St. Ray's that seems to have a little bit more experience. Like you said, Amaya Dowdy, who's going to LaSalle, has a D1 scholarship to LaSalle. For them to actually meet up
to UMass.
Yeah. Oh, to UMass.
UMass Law, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
that's where she committed to, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And congratulations there. It's awesome to get a scholarship. I mean, to have these two teams really go at it, it's just like, it seems like two different styles, like a senior guard and against a younger team. So what is there opponents or a matchup that you're looking forward to the most? What are you looking forward to the most about this game?
I want to see Amaya Dowdy go off.
Yeah.
I want to see go off. Game like this, you're a D1 commit. What do you got to lose? It's your last game of your high school career in the championship. How do you want to go out? And I want to see that from her tonight. But I also want to see Barrington's guards, the sophomore and freshman. I want to see them respond and play St. Ray's tough. That would show a lot of character and that how the future looks for Barrington if they go out there and hold their own.
Yeah. Can you see this going into overtime by any chance or anything crazy?
Now you got me making predictions, score predictions. You know what? I'm gonna go St. Ray's by 11.
All right.
St. Ray's by 11.
That's great. And then what are your thoughts on the other two games? Do you think they could be overtimes or what, close matchups? What do you think, battles?
I think Mount Pleasant and Mount Hope close battles. I think Classical by 15, 16 points.
Wow. All right. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. I mean, we are in March, so March Madness, anything could happen, right?
Anything could happen, I hope to go 3 for 3 with these picks. But like you said, it's March. Anything can happen. We seen it, right?
Yeah.
I seen it in February. So, I mean, I seen it in February. So, I mean, anything can happen. But I think today, just one of them days, man, where the better team's going to win.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Coach, this has been a lot of fun. Congratulations to all the teams who, got into the finals and who made the playoffs as well too. And, everyone who I'm glad that we were able to finish the season. I'm glad that you guys were able to able to finish the season. That's the most important thing.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, it's all about the kids, and I hope you guys best of luck to everyone. Coach Diggs, it's always a good time. I love having you on the show. We got to do more of these more often. I know you coach and stuff, but we got to do some other. Maybe we'll do some football and stuff like that too.
Oh, I'm up for it. I'm up for it. Anything, man. Anything that for the kids, for the community. You know, this sparks some little intensity and little fun into, you know, some bracketology for Rhode Island Interscholastic sports. This is awesome. So thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime, Coach. Have fun, be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.